Call the meeting to order. I need somebody to approve the minutes for the November 11th, 2025 meeting.
Go ahead, Ray. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
We need to elect president tonight. Okay, so
I'll make a motion, like Larry May, president of the Redevelopment Commission. I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Election of vice president.
I'll nominate Ray Striegel.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Election of secretary treasurer.
I'll make a motion to
nominate Cindy.
elect Cindy Morrison.
I'll second Murray's motion.
All in favor? Members reappointed currently, Don Wortman and Murray Stout. Can I have a motion for that?
Well, I'll make that motion.
All in favor? Okay. Appoint new member Curtis Conley.
I'll make a motion to appoint Curtis Conley as a new member on the Redevelopment Commission.
All in favor?
I'll second it.
And our non-voting school board member, Annie Oxley.
I'll make a motion to nominate, approve Annie Oxley as a non-voting board member.
I'll second. Okay.
All in favor?
Well, Cindy, you had to keep busy keeping up with that. Well, I'm sure you are. Then you'd be like, what did you say?
If we go too fast, just let me know, Cindy. Consider growing business, Success B Company tax abatement.
That's these papers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're requesting a tax abatement. Do you know when you're looking at starting the construction of the building or any of that stuff? Or?
As soon as we get a decision on the abatement, should get the building permit plan.
Okay.
So if Bill will get that approved for us and let them know what I've got to provide yet.
You know, I'm in favor of trying to get new business in the county and in the town, and I would make a motion that we approve a 5-year tax abatement, with it being a decreasing tax abatement over the 5-year.
I had a question. Is there an estimate how much your taxes would be a year on that or not?
On the property tax,
Yeah.
no, because it hasn't been assessed yet. It's still a new enough property that it hasn't been
It's
assessed.
always been, I know, to do a tax rate, we have to hire Thomas Pittman. It costs the town thousands of dollars to do this. I don't know if you realize that or not, but I just wonder how much tax, the estimate of tax you would get off that.
I don't know, I guess,
Is it, now, you're stating this new building will cost $500,000. You're gonna spend $500,000 on a new building. Well, what are your plans with the existing structures that are there?
so, we'll just come up here so we're. So basically, what we're doing, so the house is Airbnb rental. Right now, it's mostly rented.
Turn your mic.
So right now it's mostly rented through the summer, and so that's going well. The main building that was there is a 50 by 120 pole barn, and so that is in the middle. So if you kind of look at that drawing, I've got a bigger drawing if you want to see it, but I've attached it to the back of yours. And so basically what we're doing is we are utilizing that 50 by 120 as the kind of center of the structure. That's going to have the store inside of it and the warehouse. And then we're adding on to the east side and the west side of the building. So if you kind of look at this this page, it shows this kind of grayed out section in the middle is the existing building. And then we're adding on to the east side and the west side of the building as well. And so basically the way that the permit for the state, these have to be kind of separate freestanding structures, but they're attached to the main building, just because of the way the post configuration was. It was a post frame building. And so our building designer has basically, been able to get around that where we can connect all of these pieces so it's one continuous, building for the customer, I guess. So the front side has got our bathrooms, our entryway, and then a dedicated classroom that goes into the storefront. And then on the east side of the building, we've got about half of that is manufacturing, wood manufacturing and aluminum manufacturing. We make our own B-boxes and some aluminum components for B-boxes. And then the south end of that wing is going to be all of our honey processing. We're doing a large expansion for honey processing and bottling. And that's part of our expansion goals as well. So
It's also for tourism too, so there'll be
Yeah.
viewing windows, so we can take paid tours to see, everything literally from the making of the beehive components to putting the actual honey in bottles. So, yeah.
So I put together, this sheet is kind of a summary sheet that I put together just to try to give you an idea of our business. It's a little difficult to understand our business concept, and honestly, like even our family, a lot of them don't understand the scope and scale of what we're doing because we're in this foundational phase, and so we've had the beekeeping supply business a little over about a year and a half now. So we've gone through 2 beekeeping seasons. Our season is kind of coming to an end here this month. But basically, we draw customers in from about 3 hours away. So from Illinois, Indianapolis, Louisville, Owensboro, down into Kentucky, Henderson, Evansville. And they come for our free classes, and they come and they buy beekeeping supplies. And so I guess kind of what we've tried to do is we've taken this approach of kind of our mission is nurturing bees and supporting people. So we do a lot of customer service and supporting beekeepers and teaching and educating beekeepers on how to do the things to take care of bees so they can survive and they can be successful as beekeepers. And that's been well received. That's been our business model, and that's turned into business growth. And so we've had about a 30% growth this year in just our revenue. And so I put on here too, like our social media presence, and I don't put this on here to boast in any way at all. I'm trying to just show
Measurable growth.
measurable,
Yes.
some numbers, putting some numbers to our scope and scale, right? So we haven't gone after paid followers, and we haven't done paid ads and that kind. We tried them and they didn't work. Mm-hmm. But what does work is we post just about daily now on just sharing information, educational content for beekeepers or people that like bees. And so we're getting incredible turnout in response to that. So, we're not influencers by any means at all. The videos are not polished. It's simply just authentic growth, right? So what that does, for me, what that's been doing, and especially, with kind of the success that we've had on that side, is that proves our business concept. And so we don't have or didn't have a presence online. And now we do, just in the last, it's kind of ramped a lot here in the last 4 or 5 months. So we've built a foundation. We're building a kind of a customer base and a followership and people that appreciate what we're doing. And so I believe that that's relevant because it proves our business model. And what we're going to do, the same thing here is in this location, we bought almost 15 acres there so that we can have this same type of experience. We can have tourism with experiential, kind of activities. So lots of opportunities for field trips. There's some camps that we can do. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of expansion for people that are not beekeepers.
Right.
The base of our business and the foundation and what we're using to kind of fund this thing is the beekeeping base. But we've got lots of growth and lots of ideas. And honestly, at this point, we're just bootstrapping the thing. We're investing everything that we can into it. And I think the concept is proving itself. And I believe fully that, especially as the world becomes more digital, everybody's going to crave reality. And that's something that we get to offer them, is this cool experience in nature. I think it's an incredible partnership for the town and for the, we want to grow together. I think it's an incredible opportunity to bring people in for additional experiences from a much wider pool. Of course we have some customers here, but we have the opportunity with this foundation and our media presence that we can bring people in. The more that we can showcase what we're doing, people want to come and see it.
And if I can add to that, so in the last year where we have currently had our business in Boonville, we've trialed some different experiences to see how they go. So we offer a beekeeper for a day experience. That's a paid experience, and they get hands-on training with Dan, and that has been very well received. We started doing private lessons. We created a whole teaching apiary at our store location in Boonville. That wasn't there before. And we've had enormous growth with that as well. So already trying to do what we can do where we're at. And so then we can take that to this new location and really grow it. So it's already proven itself. It's just we're very limited on space where we currently are.
Yeah, where we're at today, the location it's just what it was. It's just an old blue warehouse building. There's about a quarter of an acre where we've got bees, and I went back and just hacked the weeds and put in a teaching apiary. And it's been incredibly well received because people want to see things in real life. Everybody sees stuff on their phone, and then they call us and they want to buy products or they want to come visit. So I think we've proven the concept. We've grown faster, so even when we first started this application, we've anticipated some additional hiring, and we've already had to hire 2 people here in this month. So we hired an additional full-time person, an additional part-time person.
And as we come here, we're going to need more.
Those people will be hired full-time in Dale. They'll be full-time
Correct.
employees in the town of Dale.
Correct.
Not one full-time, because I see that
Yes.
you saved 5 for 94,000, that's part-time, that's $18,000.
Yeah, so again, those numbers were off because when we did that, we didn't have this expansion already. So this was several months ago when we went to the county and got approved, for the tax abatement through the county. In the last few months, we've gone through our busy season, and so so the one full-time employee that we have works mostly in the wood shop and manufacturing side, and the other full-time employee that we hired is to back up and we need that extra support in the wood shop. There's only so much I can do in the nights and weekends, so we've got 2 people to work in the wood shop and the manufacturing side full-time, and then they also fill in the store with the part-time help. So the lady that we just hired for part-time, she's a beekeeper, and she's working in the store to help us. And this next year, we're likely going to have to add
Yeah, we will have to add more
3,
because
4, maybe 5 more employees.
the workload is.
Full-time or part-time?
I'll need at least another part-time person whenever we get moved. I foresee several part-time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For us, the beekeeping piece is largely seasonal, right? So it's mostly in the springtime, so from February until June. And then after that, the beekeeping season kind of slows down just because the bees are slowing down and what they're foraging for. And so that's why this is a perfect opportunity for us to lean into the tourism piece because, Holiday World kicks off, there's people in town, and so we have the opportunity to just give another experience for people to do something cool they can't get anywhere else.
So the tourism part will just be summer, that's what you're basically.
No. The tourism can be all year round.
Yeah.
Because it can be, if we're in the springtime, we can teach about pollination and different plants and forages for bees and butterflies with all the pollinators, so we can teach lots of classes. I already am doing candle making workshops at our current store, so I have those monthly. And then you go into summer, and then we're into extracting and teaching people how to bottle honey. And then you go into the fall, and then we're teaching people what to plant seasonally for fall, because that's the hardest time for bees, is fall bee forage. And then you're going into winter time, and then we're in Christmas season. Honey makes great gifts and everything, all the bee-related products. So the tourism fills not just the gap from where beekeeping season ends in, July to, basically, it slows down from July to around September, October, and then it will pick up just a little as everyone is getting ready to get their hives ready for the winter. So the tourism fills in all of the gaps. And then also with that Airbnb house, we can offer add-on experiences, paid experiences with the Airbnb stays. So it really hones in on everything and fills all the gaps for us.
Yeah, and without sharing too much, we have lots of really cool plans that I don't really, not at the liberty of sharing, just to make sure that everything works out logistically and financially. But we have some incredible plans around pollinators in general. So beekeeping is our foundation and our focus, but our end goal is that the beekeeping is only about half of the business. And so I'm excited. We have incredible potential. We're going to have some tourism experiences that you can't find in the state.
Yep.
Not even bit off subject here, but where is your store in Bluegill?
So it's off of Highway 61. So it's in between basically the I-64 intersection all the way to the town of Boonville. It's exactly 5 miles in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like 5 miles off the
Greenbrier,
interstate.
down around Greenbrier.
Yeah,
Yes,
the blue,
it's right by Greenbrier.
yeah, the blue warehouse on the left.
Oh, okay. I used to be in there when I was a little kid. That was a furniture store.
Yeah.
Was it? There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So that's where the business started. So Dwayne, he has a radiator shop on the other side of it. So he's actually shutting that down this week, actually. So we're kind of in a hurry to find a new location as well. So, it's ready for us it's time for us to move on. And we've got this awesome property and facility that we've got planned. So we're excited.
Very.
On the agricultural side of it, have you looked at going to the schools to recruit beekeepers or anything like that?
Well, we could. I already go and teach at schools currently. So I'll go around, I'll ask, especially like for science courses, if they're having a course on bees, they'll ask me to come and teach. So, yeah.
Our goal is that this is a destination where they can bring field
Yeah,
trips
so
to
they can
us.
come to us,
So
too.
the dedicated classroom workshop area will hold about 40 kids, and that's our plan. So
Yep.
tour buses and
Summer
school children
camps.
on tours.
Homeschool groups.
Yeah.
So that's part of our mission is to give back through education. So it all flows together.
Speaking of buses, just throwing this out there, there are a lot of tour buses that do stop at Denny's to eat, if you get hooked in with
Right.
some,
Yep.
I don't know who they are, bus companies, but,
Yep.
that might give you
For sure.
an
Yeah.
Yeah.
opportunity there.
Definitely.
I saw two there, it was either today or yesterday, I forgot now.
Yeah.
I've slept since then.
And we know this concept will work. We've done our homework. We have went and done some business trips this year. We went down to Georgia and met with a world-renowned beekeeper who does a lot with the honey side and taps into tourism and all the different kinds of honeys to have for others. And then we also went down to Alabama and visited with another big beekeeping supply company. They focus on mainly supplies and the education piece. So between those two businesses, and they're some of the biggest in the U.S., if we even take just a portion of what we learned from either of those and then combine them together, this can be, Indiana's largest beekeeping tourism stop is our goal.
It'll be the buzz of Dale.
That's right.
That's
There
it.
you go.
That's right.
That's a bumper sticker we can have.
Well,
Right.
and that's a good point too. So we're going to have billboards on the interstate.
Yes.
And we're going to draw people off the interstate because that's been incredibly successful for some of the commercial guys that we've talked to down in Georgia. They put up some billboards and their business basically went eightfold.
Overnight.
And they're not on an interstate. So, our location, we think it's perfect
Perfect,
because we're
yes.
on 231. So we're on the north-south corridor and I-64, and we can pull folks from all four directions and have them stop in the town of Dale.
Yep. So we're going to bring money to the community, you know, organically and inorganically. It's going to happen. It's just we have to get here.
What percentage of abatement are you asking for?
So the county approved us for a 10-year phased plan. So, I mean, that'd be a good starting point, but at this point, we're just looking to partner with the town, you know. We think it's an incredible strategic move for both of us, and you guys are a great community, you know. We want to be here, and there's so many opportunities that we can grow together. I mean, that side of town is going to pull people off the interstate, and then they'll be in town. And from there, we can direct them to all over, you know. We can have those, the different activity signs. I mean, there's all kinds of cool activities that we can do to get them to stay in Dale and Spencer County.
Yeah.
But you have to go to the county for.
Well, we thought that was the process. So that was our mistake.
Yeah.
We thought we were at the county to get a tax abatement
Yeah.
approved. And so we went down there and we met with their council, and they approved us for a 10-year tax abatement, a phased plan.
Bruce, what's the whole process of the tax abatement? What all would we have to go through?
Well, first you have to decide, we have to adopt a resolution at some point, basically what the board is willing to offer, if anything. You know, you have the option of either up to, can exceed 10 years. It can be graduated. We'll have to adopt a resolution, whatever the council
I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm certainly not in favor of a 10-year abatement for this few of employees, okay? What I think you're doing is wonderful, and I'm excited, I wanna come and see it. But I mean, I would be willing to go 5 years on it, but, you know, before I came in here and heard your presentation, I gotta admit that I was no, just because of the few amount of employees that you're gonna have. You know, those kind of things, but that's just my personal opinion, where there's other people here.
I was trying to say the same thing. I mean, I was kind of against it from the start, but, let me ask you a question, Bruce. If we done a 5-year, after 5 years, would that be TIF? I mean, would it be TIF then?
After the abatement goes off, then goes to TIF.
And I'm kind of like her. I would be favored of 5-year, but not.
Now, you have to decide what percentage you're going.
I would divide it over the 5 years, you know, 20% each.
I
100% first year, 80,
Yeah.
60, 40, 20.
Yeah, I would go along with, yeah, that's what I should have said that in my conversation, because that's,
I think that was your original motion.
Right, yeah.
That hasn't been seconded or voted on yet.
Yeah.
That's
still
my
on the floor.
motion, you know, that's what my motion
That
was.
motion's still on the floor, we're just
Yeah.
discussing.
Yeah, I'd like to see it for 5 years and have it step down, you know, over the 5 years to 20% each year, you know.
And we'll have to, and that, whatever you decide, I have to draft a resolution, we'll have to have another meeting and everybody come in and adopt that. It's gotta be in the form of a resolution.
Well, I agree. I think going with the 10-year is just, unfortunately, it doesn't work for the town. And, but I am currently in favor of the 5-year and stepping down that way. But, Donnie?
We want to do what's best. I mean, we want to see you here, you grow up.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you know, the other thing, we don't, you know, we're cost sharing on the sewer, right? So we're paying part of that sewer cost as well,
Well, yeah, that's,
so.
so did Orchard, so did all the other
I understand.
places that we abated, you know, that
Sure,
Orchard Estates, they paid for the sewer line out there. Truck stop paid for the sewer line to the lift station with no cost to the town. So the cost sharing is great, but it's no more than we've asked of other people. That, and in fact, they picked up 100% of it.
yeah, I wish I could pick it up. We don't have any investors, you know, this is
But that's,
literally my retirement.
I understand, but I'm not saying we're trying to be mean about it, but what we've done in the past, those were kind of part of the deal
Sure,
to get it, is that they,
Right.
because we had the money to do, we'd love to. That was the reason that we tipped it, is to try to generate some money, so we can do those things for development.
so how large is the TIF area?
It is basically on the north side of town, past,
So the truck stop,
Truck stop north and east and west.
so they're in the TIF, so you're getting TIF money off the truck stop then?
Not yet.
We abated them before we had the TIF area. We had landowners out there that were wanting more, they were wanting water, sewer, that kind of stuff. We don't have it. How do you get it? That's one way to get it. Is some of the landowners out there had asked, and at one point, there was some talk there was options for a relatively large project that would, data center, generate a lot of tax revenue.
Right.
That would generate a lot of money to help offset, and quite frankly, on the big projects, you can do that by floating a bond issue
Johnny, what's your
Make that
thoughts?
motion to-
Well, I'm here for Dale. I rode up here and we need some money.
Yeah.
So I'm not part of the abatement.
We're gonna bring people here.
Yes, you are. I hope the best for you.
So we do have, oh, go ahead. Public comment?
Am I allowed to? Thank you. On behalf of both beloved town of Dale, which you all know has a huge place in my heart, and this amazing couple that is bringing this opportunity here to Dale, I have to appreciate Murray and then Kurt and Ray, if you're on. I have to appreciate that at least you are maybe open to the 5-year, even if it's not a 10. I mean, you know, the companies that have come out here have multiple locations, have been in business for many, many years, have, you know, a lot of capital stacked behind them. These are two people coming in to create this space here in the town limits of Dale. So they, like Dan has said, they've taken their personal money. This isn't a backing, you know, they don't have all of these hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're investing from area backers or other locations. This is the two of them coming into our town to make it even brighter and better than it already is. So, you know, how we've watched Ferdinand, the exit at Ferdinand, grow and grow over the past 20 years. Dale is finally on a spur of growth out here. It's fantastic. And I applaud them for coming in and making the huge investment that they have. And hope that at least for the 5 years, the town of Dale will be able to see. I totally appreciate you talking about Tom Pittman and the funds that you'll have to hire him with. But, you know, Tom's no pro at this, and it's a small price to pay for the investment that they've made personally out of their own monies into the town of Dale.
Yeah, we have no investors. It is just us working really hard. We work, you know, I had a nursing background before this. I quit my nursing job to do this. And I work so much harder than I ever did as a nurse.
Yeah, we're
7
not
days a
listed
week,
under the
yeah.
employees
No,
because
we
we're
are
not paid,
not.
so.
That's right. I am not paid. All of our money goes right back into this business.
Yeah, and I do want to say too, you know, like our growth plan, you know, I've kind of tempered this to a 3-year plan because we have a much clearer vision on that. You know, the place that we visited in Georgia has 26 employees, and they're in a smaller area than this. And so we fully expect to grow that. We have a bigger
Yeah.
facility, we have more acreage. I mean, we fully expect to
Yeah.
exceed that.
And the employee number, I mean, you know, we tempered that down as well. You know, for me to say, oh yeah, we're gonna have 10 more employees this year. You know, I'm realistic, so let's start with what we know now, and then as we get busier, I am not opposed to hiring more help. So I'm just fine to delegate tasks and just to keep this growing on an uphill climb.
Well, we do have a motion on the table, so,
I'll second that motion.
okay.
Is that
All
for
in
the
favor?
5-year?
The
5
5
years.
years
Yep.
going down,
With the 20.
So that's starting at the 100?
Step down.
and going down.
80, yes.
100% first year, 80% second year, 60, 40, 20.
Okay.
and
Just
Probably, probably 10 of the last year.
Okay. And,
I think that's how it works. Well, the resolution, Tom.
so now we've got a motion, we've got a second, so now we need to vote on it. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes. So, okay, so,
Thank you very much.
Probably wasn't as much as you were wanting, but I think we're trying to
We're
meet,
gonna work together.
we're
Yeah.
trying
We're
to,
gonna grow together.
yeah, yeah. We wanna see you grow.
We're kind of between a rock and a hard place. We want to develop, but that's why we put another $14,000 in trying to help you with the sewer project. You have to put the septic system, holding tank in. But we're poor like everybody else.
I know.
I understand.
So we're in the same.
It takes
boat.
money, it takes money to make money, you know.
Right,
Yes.
no, we're doing this thing by faith,
Yeah.
you know.
And for the tip area, I think Cindy said we spent like $40,000 setting up that tip area.
I guarantee you bring more
Hasn't
people
done
than
us
it takes.
anything yet. It's just for you
Just-
guys. She
okay.
just wanted me to pass it around to thank everybody.
Any other public comments? No? All right. So next board meeting?
I'd say we have to call one because we'll have to prepare a resolution for, obviously, we couldn't prepare a resolution in advance, but then
Right.
it's gonna be.
Right.
Okay.
So I'll prepare, a resolution, we'll pull out kind of what we had and probably run past Tom, make sure it passes, because they had a hiccup. Wasn't us, but there was a hiccup with the abatement of the trucks down back there this last year, so.
We just set up a meeting like, 6 o'clock the night of our regular meeting.
Yeah.
So-
Same board, but, yeah.
Okay.
Now,
We have a public hearing following, or we began it at 6:30 for the de-annexation of some properties. So
Yeah,
we're gonna
okay.
begin at 6:30 with that.
Yeah.
You know, we'll start our regular meeting, just start the public hearing, then go into that. So if you wanna meet at 6, I can advertise that we'll meet at 6 o'clock for the redevelopment commission.
Okay.
But that won't be ready by next Tuesday.
We was on Tuesday, it should be.
Oh, okay.
No,
You can-
it's next
Week from
Tuesday.
today, yeah.
That's,
Week
Yeah.
from
So you'll
today.
have it ready by-
we from,
Okay.
So
it
if,
should be, it's not a long document, it's just like when you plug in the.
because do they have to approve it, then do we have to read it and approve it in our town council meeting too, or does redevelopment do it all?
I think the council has to approve it.
That's what I thought. So we could do the first reading of it
And
that
I'll
night.
check with Tom about that.
Okay. Cause then if you do
Tom
your
was
first,
off for the hiccup that they, in the county.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Truck stop people.
so if we do the redevelopment commission meeting at 6, we do our public hearing at 6:30 for the de-annexation, and then we'll begin our regular public meeting. And that's all June the 9th, right?
No, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, June the 9th.
June the 9th. And then do we have to have another a second reading of it, or can we, if it passes in the
No,
one?
because we've adopted it here,
Okay,
this,
okay,
and just, basically, it's an approval of what we've done tonight in a written form.
okay.
It's just not like an ordinance.
Okay, it's a little bit different than
It's a
ordinance.
resolution
Okay,
that reflects what we've done tonight.
Okay.
I'm gonna get it right in a minute, so we don't hold it up.
There you go. All right.
So we'll be able to start construction then after after next Tuesday, if everything goes smooth.
And I'm pretty sure you can start tomorrow, check with Tom Pittman, I think once this is approved, that's the kicker. That has to be approved before construction starts, and after that, I'm pretty sure that, but I'll talk to him, he's got to make $800 an hour, I think.
The paltry sum of,
Plus a little more than that, but
Yeah.
it's a little higher than the other, but
Okay,
I should have grew up smart.
So, if anything else, then we'll just adjourn the meeting if I have a motion for that.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
Hey, board, I wanna ask a thing. Before you go on.
we want to do what we can.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, yes.
Thanks, sir.
So much, appreciate it, thank you, yes, thank you.
Curtis, run off. Don't run off.
Okay, I'm going to the bathroom. Is that all right? Is that all right if I go to the bathroom?
somebody to go with you.
Might have to pee.
I can't get this off.
Pepper the fish.
Jerk the cord out of it. Stop. Looks like it. Like my arms.
Yep, you're done.